A very good morning to all gathered here today. Sustainable Development Goal 2 aims at achieving zero hunger and ensuring access by all people to safe, nutritious, and sufficient food. In addition, SDG Goal 3 promotes healthy lives and well-being at all ages. This makes public health nutrition an important component for building a sustainable future. Through a variety of strategies, such as health services, program development, and policy lobbying, public health nutrition seeks to increase overall nutritional health and decrease nutrition-related illness among people. Despite various schemes for the improvement of public health, India is still burdened with the triple burden of malnutrition. Additionally, the unprecedented global public health crisis due to the COVID-19 pandemic aggravated child health issues, endangering both their short and long-term health across the nation. In this context, the Center of Excellence on Public Health Nutrition, Department of Humanities and Social Sciences, NIT Rourkela, welcomes you to the second National Conclave on Public Health Nutrition, measuring progress towards achieving sustainable development goals. This two-day conclave will provide an interdisciplinary platform for leading academicians, practitioners, and social science researchers to share and discuss the recent innovations, trends, as well as challenges in the field of public health nutrition. It will reflect on health and nutrition-related issues amidst the COVID-19 pandemic and focus on the pace and the progress towards achieving the various targets of the SDGs.
Now, we would request our guests to grace the stage with their presence. As our chief guest, we have Mr. Pramod Kumar Mekap, former IFS officer, chairperson, Odisha State Food Commission. We welcome Professor Akhil Bihari Ota, former IAS officer and former director of SCSTRTI, Dr. Aparoop Das, Director, ICMR, National Institute of Research on Tribal Health, Professor Pradeep Sarkar, the Honorable Director in Charge, NIT Rourkela, Professor Shantanu Pariya, Dean, Shriek, NIT Rourkela. Finally, we welcome the conveners of the event, Dr. Jalandhar Pradhan, Associate Professor, Health Economist, Department of Humanities and Social Sciences, NIT Rourkela, and Mr. Saurav Bhattacharjee, Nutrition Specialist, UNICEF. We request our volunteers to please honor our guests with flower tributes.
Shubham karoti kalyanam, arogyam dhanasampada, shatru buddhi vinashaya, deepa jyoti namastuti. We fold our hands before the light that brings prosperity and abundance. We now begin the two-day conclave with the auspicious lighting of the lamp. We would like to request our dignitaries to please do the honors.
Ms. Mridula Ghosh for the mesmerizing rendition of the Vandana. Now, we may please request the convener of the event, Dr. Jalandhar Pradhan Sir, to please deliver the welcome address. Dr. Pradhan is an associate professor in the discipline of health economics at the Department of Humanities and Social Sciences, NIT Rourkela. Presently, he is leading the Center of Excellence on Public Health Nutrition at NIT Rourkela in collaboration with UNICEF. Sir, please.
Thank you. Honorable Chief Guest, Mr. Pramod Kumar Makap, esteemed guest of honor, Dr. Akhil Bihari Vata and Dr. Aparupa Das, and respected Professor Pradeep Sarkar, our Director in charge, NIT Rourkela, and our very own Professor Santanu Pariya Sir, Dean Srik, and the convener of this conclave, Mr. Saurav Bhattacharya ji from UNICEF, invited speakers, paper presenters, and other participants, media personals, my dear colleagues and students. Indeed, it gives me an immense pleasure to welcome you all to this two-day national conclave on public health nutrition, and the subtitle is Measuring Progress Towards Achieving Sustainable Development Goals. In fact, we are very grateful to Mr. Pramod Kumar Makap, sir, for accepting our invitation to be as our chief guest of this program. Mr. Makap's contribution in addressing food and malnutrition issues in Odisha is revolutionary. As a chairperson of Odisha State Food Commissions, his role to ensuring the proper implementation of National Food Security Act 2013 in the state is extraordinary. Indeed, Odisha has made significant progress. If you look at recent index issued as Food Security Index, India ranked 1. That's a very good achievement actually for Odisha. And that's the contribution what we speak. Mr. Makap has put his effort to address malnutrition issues in Odisha. Also, he's played a pivotal role in formation of Bandhan Vikas Kendra, a tribal hub for collecting the minor forest products. So there are many achievements, but these are some of the key achievements at Odisha Mr. Makap has made, especially for state of Odisha as nation as a whole. So thank you, sir, for accepting our invitation and be a part of the chief guest of this program. I'm also thankful to Dr. Akhil Bihari Vata for accepting our invitation to be a guest of honor for this program. He has headed, in fact, more than 15 years, about 16 years, the Scheduled Caste and Scheduled Tribe Research Training Institute at Bhubaneswar, the oldest as well as the premier TIIR of the country, and also the Odisha State Tribal Museums. Recently, in fact, under his leadership, they have produced 5 volumes of Encyclopedia of Tribal in Odisha, Tribes in Odisha, was published, which was first of its kind in the entire country. And probably you may not believe this encyclopedia is well appreciated, not at the national level as well as also international level. Most of the researchers, academicians, also practitioners, those who are working in the areas of tribal health and nutrition as well as other aspect, livelihood aspect of tribal. So this is a really good contribution for all of us as a researcher, as academicians, as a practitioner. So it would be indebted, really, sir, would be indebted for that, your contribution on these areas. So thank you once again, sir, for accepting our invitation to be part of this event. I'm also thankful to Dr. Aparupa Das for accepting our invitation to be the part of the inaugural session. In fact, Dr. Das is currently working as director of ICMR National Institute of Research in Tribal Health, Jabalpur, Madhya Pradesh. He is a population geneticist and molecular evolutionary biologist by training. And in fact, his contribution in the areas of tribal health is groundbreaking. So in many areas, he has extensively worked on the malaria eradication program and other dynamics. So thank you, sir, for your accepting our invitation to be part of this event. Unfortunately, our beloved director, Professor K. Umamaheswar Rao, could not join us today due to some other official obligation and pre-commitments. Indeed, I am very much thankful for his unconditional support to organize this conclave. Although he is not present here, but he has congratulated the Center of Excellence on Public Health Nutrition for organizing such an invigorating conclave on a very crucial and emerging theme. He has also extended his heartfelt wishes, stating that I hope the event will have research-oriented and evidence-based discussion and result in valuable recommendations for sustained improvement in the health and nutritional status of women and children in India, especially in India and the state of Odisha in particular. So we are thankful for his valuable support for this center as well as to organizing this conclave. Also, I am very much thankful to our director in charge, Professor Pradeep Sarkar, and our Dean Srik, Professor Santanu Pariya sir, for gracing this inaugural session and with their presence, also their kind support organizing this conclave. I should also mention, without fail, my heartfelt thanks to my support team, colleagues and students who have put their valuable times to effort to make this conclave grand success. So look at keeping all this agenda in mind. Let me introduce a brief idea about this conclave, theme of this conclave, which is titled Public Health and Nutrition. Mostly we are talking about what are the recent challenges to address in the context of sustainable development goals, especially goal 2 and goal 3. So if you I'd like to highlight this is a part of, this conclave is a part of the Center of Excellence on Public Health and Nutrition. I think we organized the first one in 2020, the first conclave, and this is the second series of conclave under aegis of Center of Excellence on Public Health Nutrition. If I'll highlight, this center was established in 2019 in the Department of Humanities and Social Sciences in collaboration with UNICEF, and mostly we talk about the basic objective of this COE is the strengthen collaboration on knowledge management. And if you talk about the knowledge management, mostly we try to exchange the research ideas, research findings across different groups of researcher, academician, as well as the practitioner. And another important aspect of this COE, also we regularly conduct different workshops and different conclaves like this, and also we share different policy document. We prepare different sort of policy document for planner and policy maker, either at the national level, subnational level, also at the grassroots level. Maybe if you talk about, if you need some sort of report like for a district of Sundargarh, that also we prepare at our end, and mostly we discussed at the evidence-based research, and which could help for the planner and policy maker to address these issues. As we all know, this informed policy making relies heavily on active, harmonious relationship between ongoing research and their institutional counterpart. Local culture, norm, practice need to be centralized for this approach to have a meaningful impact, because mostly local thought should be emphasized, or local culture, that also need to be enhanced, and through this center we try to address these issues. So therefore this conclave, mostly we talk about the bringing together practitioner and the national international NGOs, CBOs, scholars of repute and development partners, researchers, social scientists, to disseminate knowledge and share their experience and research results on different aspects of public health nutrition, community nutrition, public policy, as well as human development in the context of sustainable development goals. It also provides a premier interdisciplinary platform for researcher, practitioner, academicians to present and discuss the latest innovations, because many times we talk about many ideas, but how to this idea could be translated into the field, we never discuss that part. So we'll try to gather this information from all the participants, and also best practices. What are the best practices moving around the globe and also within national level, at the subnational level. So these are the aspects we'll be making an exchange behavior with all the researcher. I'm happy to share that more than 50 speakers actually, this time around 50 speakers, they will be sharing their ideas on different aspects of public health nutrition and what are the gaps, what are the challenges, mostly to talk about to addressing the sustainable development goal. So on a concluding note, we are immensely grateful also to UNICEF for providing necessary support to organize this conclave, and we hope the conclave will facilitate knowledge sharing among the Preston gathering, and that will contribute towards expanding the existing canons of public health nutrition. So thank you all. So I hope all will enjoy this two-day conclave, and our team will be there. Thank you all.
Thank you so much, sir. We have Mr. Saurabh Bhattacharjee, Nutrition Specialist UNICEF, as our convener. He is leading the nutrition section at UNICEF Odisha office. He received the prestigious Dr. N.B. Kumta Award presented by BPNI Maharashtra in 2014 in recognition of outstanding work in IYCN. We would request Mr. Bhattacharjee to please address the gathering and give a brief introduction. Sir, please.
Thank you, and good morning to all of you, delegates on the dais and delegates of the dais, including friends, colleagues, and students who have joined this very, very interesting dialogue on sustainable development goals, specifically related to goal number 2, which is about eradicating extreme hunger. At the Center of Excellence for Public Health Nutrition, which is basically supposed to be a think tank, a guiding force to dialogue and debate about public policies around nutrition. We have done a lot of things, very interesting initiatives have happened over the last couple of years. For example, a very seminal documentation on COVID-19 and nutrition, what does the future hold for Odisha, has been conducted, and it is now available on public domain. We also had a program called Jivan Sampark, which is to look at the child survival actions in the most vulnerable tribal areas, called the PVTGs of Odisha. So we also have recently completed, we are in the process of completion and assessment on what Jivan Sampark, how have the interventions been actually enabled the most vulnerable tribes to access government services, change behavior. So that is on the anvil, that is going to be completed very soon. And we have also done an evaluation of infant and young child feeding practices for Odisha. So these three things we have done. Through this forum, I also, we have been holding conclaves like what Jalandhar has said. Unfortunately, COVID didn't allow us to get together and speak to all of you, dialogue with all of you in the last 2 years. But I think situation has improved, and it is, I hope, I pray that it is going to remain in this improved stage for days to come. What I would like to say that we also would like to declare this forum open for any other partners who wish to join hands with us, come together on policy dialogues and debates, and generate evidence in Odisha and as well as in other neighboring states and other parts of the country. One thing which I would like to mention here is that, see, even though this center is about public health nutrition, there are two words, public health and nutrition. And there was a lot of debates around, does it mean that only nutritionists or only people working in the field of nutrition, food security should be a part of this center of excellence, or the extended team of the center of excellence? We felt, and it has been shown globally, that to change nutrition behaviors, the bottom line or the underlying factor is multisectorality. Wherever nutrition outcomes have improved, be it Nepal, be it Bangladesh, look at their nutrition indicators, it has happened because so many other sectors have come together and tried to address the central problem of malnutrition. Because unfortunately, malnutrition is not just a medical problem. It's probably a lack of nutrition, but there are so many underlying determinants, there are so many social causes. In fact, we did an assessment with a study called RSOC. This was published way back in 2014-16 by the Ministry of Women and Child Development. We did an analysis for Odisha and we found that the biggest cause of the underlying cause of poor nutrition status in Odisha is high rates of early childhood marriage. Who would but imagine that a nutrition seminar or a nutrition or a discussion around nutrition could or can also include discussions around social determinants like women's voices, empowerment, whether they are getting married off early or not. So this center over the period of time has become multisectoral. We have through this sector providing support to water, environmental, sanitation. We recently had a very interesting workshop for 5 days continuing education workshop on climate change resilience and disaster risk reduction. Because in a state like Odisha, disaster is also one of the major predisposing factors for poor nutrition among women and children. One funny or one yes hitting us, it probably pushes the state back by several decades and erases so many decades of good work which has been done in the state. So we have included in this center, we provide support for water, environmental sanitation, which also includes climate change and disaster risk resilience, communication for development, which looks at behavior change. We also are going to slowly work with the ECC, Early Childhood Care and Education, which is handled by the education sector, and child protection. As I mentioned, early childhood marriage is one of the major precursors of childhood stunting in Odisha at least, and I'm sure that would be also a reason why many children across the country are becoming stunted. So, so the multisectorality has been established now in this center, and I would like to thank Professor Jalandhar and his team for hosting all of us here. In fact, I have also come, and he has done all the background work of inviting, getting papers, getting panelists, getting speakers. So thank you, Dr. Jalandhar. And I would again, as I end, I would like to request all of you who are interested, let us form a kind of a extended group who works for the cause of public health nutrition, not only in the state of Odisha, but also take the learning from various good practices of whatever has happened across the country and form a community of practice, a COP. That I think would be an ultimate dream which this center would be having. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. We hope the attendees will carry forward the fruits of the creative interchange that they will gain from this conference. Next, we would like to invite Professor Shantanu Parya, Dean of Sponsored Research, Industrial Consultancy and Continuing Education, NIT Rourkela, to please say a few words on this occasion. Shriek looks after the financial and administrative aspects of the Sponsored Research, Industrial Consultancy and Continuing Education and serves as a bridge between the researchers and the funding agencies. Sir, please.
Good morning, all the dignitaries on the dais, all the participants, our faculty colleagues and students. So on behalf of NIT Rourkela and SRIC cell of NIT Rourkela, I welcome you all to this conclave. So regarding the organizer of this conclave, Humanities and Social Sciences of NIT Rourkela, Professor Jalandhar Pradhan already mentioned about the activities, and I would also like to mention the additional strength of the department. This department is hosting such type of centers, 2-3 centers they are hosting, and frequently they are conducting such kind of conferences, which indicates that they are very active in different activities like outreach activities and academic activities. So this is one of the parameter of the Higher Learning Institute and Higher Learning Department. So I hope that you will learn many things from this conclave. And this conclave, basically there are a few things, like few keywords are there which are very important, which I note. That in fact the center is health and nutrition. See, health is our topmost priority of any other activities. Okay, so we need to keep our health as much as possible fit. So in this regard, basically nutrition is the part of that. Unless we have good nutrition, it's not possible to make our health good. So because of that, maybe we are now too much in advanced stage, like we get many things inside a capsule, many vitamins, many nutrients we are getting, many things we are trying to get inside a bottle so that our whole day food can be managed within that. But whenever we are doing this kind of miniaturized things, so there are a lot of problems also associated, like we lose many things in between the processes. So unless we know that what are the things basically we are getting for our healthy life, or how to practice healthy life, it's very difficult to maintain our health. So I hope that this conclave will discuss about all this technical matter. So I'm not going to detail of those things. And also there is a very important keyword here, which is sustainable. So sustainable word generally we use in every aspect nowadays, whether it's a engineering, whether it's a science, whether it's a process, or whether it's a lifestyle, whether it's a farming, every cases we are using the sustainable word. Okay, so sustainable word basically, unless we sustain, so it has different significance, different meaning in every aspect. I hope that you will find your own significance related to this conference. From this sustainable word significance, you will get it, and that is the purpose of this conference. And because of that, different part of our country, many participants, many experts has come to share their views. I hope that you will also share your views and you will go with a full of knowledge from this institute. So in an academic institute, basically our objective is to disseminate the knowledge, and also reciprocating way, we also need to gather knowledge from others. So I hope that this big gathering will help us to fulfill these targets. Thank you very much, and I hope that you will enjoy your stay in our institute, and also I wish you a very good Happy New Year, coming New Year. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. We feel very sorry that our Honorable Director, sir, could not join us today. Due to his busy schedule and pre-commitments, he could not be a part of the inauguration ceremony, but his good wishes remain always with us. However, today we have the Honorable Director in charge, NIT Rourkela, Professor Pradeep Sarkar, with us. We would request Professor Sarkar to please share his thoughts with the gathering.
Esteemed Chief Guest, Mr. Pramod Kumar Markup, Chairperson, Odisha State Food Corporation, Professor Akhil Bihari Otap, former Director of SCSTRTI, Dr. Aparup Das, Director, ICMR, National Institute of Research in Tribal Health, Professor Santanu Paria, Dean SRIC, the conveners, my colleague Dr. Jalandhar Pradhan, and Mr. Saurabh Bhattacharya, nutrition specialist from UNICEF, guests, participants, my colleagues, media people, and my dear students. A very good morning to all of you. I want to express that I'm very sorry for the delay, and because of that, our program has delayed for half an hour. Please excuse me. it gives me a great pleasure to welcome you to the inaugural program of Second National Conclave on Public Health Nutrition, measuring progress towards achieving Sustainable Development Goals, organized by the Center of Excellence on Public Health Nutrition, Department of Humanities. This Center of Excellence on Public Health Nutrition began in 2019 by the Department of Humanities and Social Science in collaboration with UNICEF. I have learned that this conclave will be addressing many facets of public health, nutrition, public policy, and human development in the context of nutrition and sustainable development. I am happy to know that around 50 speakers will be sharing their thoughts on various issues regarding public health nutrition. It is well-known fact that the economic development of a community is directly related to the public health, and food and nutrition are closely related to the public health. Therefore, to be a major global economy, what is our ambition as a nation, we need significant focus on the aspect of public health nutrition. And I am quite sure that Indian situation in public health nutrition is not very encouraging at this moment. And we have a lot of scope to improve this situation. In this context, I am very proud that Center of Excellence on Public Health Nutrition has taken the initiative to organize this event to discuss a matter of national importance. I take this opportunity to highlight the institute, our institute, that is National Institute of Technology, which is now celebrating the Golden Jubilee year. That is 60th years. Now we are at 61st year. And the country knows us as an engineering institute. We are one of the top engineering institutes. But what is there in background, we are, our science and humanities department are also sometime even greater than the engineering departments. That is evident from the fact that our overall NIRF ranking, National Institute ranking framework, we are also on 30th plus 31st or 32nd ranked institute. That means overall with engineering and other science and humanities together, we are competing the great universities of the country. If we see the number of faculty members in humanities department, number of students in the humanities departments are all parallel with other branches, engineering branches. And another important thing is that we have 22 academic departments, including humanities and social sciences, and we have student strength of, at present, on-campus student strength of about 8,500, and staff strength will be above 500, 600 staff strength, but our sanctioned capacity of student intake is about 10,500, and also total sanctioned staff strength will be little above 1,000. So in terms of number of students, number of staffs, and we are a campus of 650 acre. So we are not only the largest NITs in the campus in terms of those parameters, we are also one of the largest educational institute in the country. And therefore, this topic of public health nutrition, it is, in my opinion, is not only limited to the humanities and social sciences. It is actually open to different other branches of knowledge and learning. So this type of events in an institute like NIT Rourkela, where we have several expertise available and students of different background, they will be benefited. And I am sure that this program will have a positive impact on the knowledge and understanding of all the participants. Finally, I am thankful to our honorable guest, Mr. Markup, Professor Ota, Dr. Das, for taking pain and visiting our institute. Our only problem is that we are located in a remote area. Transportation is not still up to the mark. And I'm really personally feel honored to be sharing the dais with the distinguished people like you, sir. I thank Professor Jalandhar Pradhan, the head of the Center of Excellence, to invite me to this inaugural program, and I wish a great success to this event. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir, for your enriching words and introducing the gathering to the glory of our institute. As our guest of honor, we have amongst ourselves Dr. Aparup Das, Director, ICMR, National Institute of Research in Tribal Health, Jabalpur, Madhya Pradesh. Dr. Das is a population geneticist and molecular evolutionary biologist by training, who applied his expertise to understand malaria in India and Africa. We would request him to please say a few words. Sir, please.
Good morning, everyone. The dignitaries in the dais and of the dais. I really feel honored and elated to be here. For the reason that, as ma'am has introduced me, I am a biologist. I have been invited by a technological institute, sitting with all the dignitaries who are probably not biological scientists, in a humanities department. The conference, the conclave is organized. So this says the amalgamation of all the subjects by which we can actually, see health, by which not only health outcome will be benefited, but we together can join hands in drive how public health system in this country can actually steer. So I come from an ICMR institute, which is an Indian Council of Medical Research. We have 27 different institutes in the country. My institute is located in the tribal heartland of this country, Jabalpur, surrounded by tribal areas, tribal people. But Odisha is actually the center for the tribes. There are at least 13 to 14 particularly vulnerable tribal groups are present in here out of 75 in the whole country. So Odisha has to lead from the front if we are talking about public health and nutrition. Let me say, many of us probably have a very little doubt about what is individual health and what is public health. So public health is the health which is there in the public. We have to be, we see diseases as a public health perspective when we are talking about community. And this is where social sciences, anthropological sciences, they come together. But if I talk of individual health, then this is my health. And that individual health actually in the community, in a community perspective, we sometimes ignore or sometimes we spread. COVID-19 has taught us that what is individual health and what is community health. There was a strong line between individual health and community health during COVID-19. Even a father died, the son denied to take the body, and even son didn't go to the cremation ground because it was important at that time that how individual health has over-dominated and overpowered public health or community health. So with time, with diseases, we should not put everything together in one basket of public health, but we should recognize that how individual health can be differentiated, and individual health should not be a public health concern. If I am having a disease, then this is my responsibility, that I should not spread in the public, and then it becomes a public health concern or public health perspective. So health has to be dissected in different directions, and then we should talk about how we can, in a larger scale, tackle public health situations. if I talk of nutrition, nutrition is a kind of, I beg pardon from everyone, is a myth to me. I am very personal in giving this statement, because nutrition is a individual status. Even I know that milk is highly nutritious. Everyone knows that milk can be highly nutritious. From day one, a child is born, he or she has been fed by milk. But I, as an individual, I cannot digest milk. And probably many of you might have experienced or might be what is medically or clinically termed as lactose intolerant. So how many of us is lactose intolerant in public? We do not know. I am taking milk, but I am not able to utilize milk. The good part of milk has not been utilized by us. So am I not taking nutritious diet? I am taking. But my body, my constitution, my physiology is not able to utilize milk. So taking nutritious diet is not enough. But we should know that if we have capacity to digest, when I say digest, this is assimilation and then taking up by the body and utilize the nutritious part of those diets. So even if we say that marginalized people are poorly nutrited, I do not think so. They are nutrited as they like to, or as they have been developed or evolved in their system. Since they are not taking milk, or since they are not taking high protein diets, I tell that you are malnutrited. So nutrition is a individual output, and then as a community, nutrition should be very individualized and and personalized. So nutrition is in a global term. We know that we need protein, we need carbohydrate, we need fat, we need this, we need that. And if someone is not taking those, then he or she might be malnutrited. And we have the calculator of nutrition as BMI. Many of the clinicians, Dr. Prema Madhav Behra is sitting here. So there are many people know that we just calculate BMI and then say that he or she is nutrited or malnutrited. But I have a strong doubt over it, because as a product of evolution, we have been done very good so far. And if I am malnutrited, then I could not probably survive and reproduce. And if I am nutrited, if my economic status says that I should be nutrited, but many of the good things, many of the proteinaceous things I take, but I do not able to digest. So who is malnutrited and who is nutrited is a big question for every one of us. It needs to be debated, it needs to be studied, it needs to be actually experimented, and then we can define that what is malnutrition and what is nutrition. I have a talk coming up. I will be talking about being a biologist. I will talk about sociology, social sciences, and how health of the tribes can be tackled. So I will talk in my talk. For now, actually, I want to thank you and thank the organizers very much for calling me here. And I am here for the 2 days, and I am sure that I am going to learn a lot from here and take it home to my institute and then deliberate it there, and we will have definitely dialogues in between. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, sir, for your expert opinion. We also have with us Professor Akhil Bihari Ota, former Director of Scheduled Castes and Scheduled Tribes Research and Training Institute, Bhubaneswar. He was also the Honorary Advisor, National Tribal Research Institute under the Ministry of Tribal Affairs, Government of India. We would request Professor Ota to please say a few words.
the chief guest of today's workshop, Chairman, Food Commission, Mr. Mekap, other dignitaries on the dais and off the dais. I find many students and research scholars and senior colleagues of this institute. I must congratulate at the outset this institute and UNICEF in particular for supporting on such an important area for past 4 years, if I am not wrong. Well, this is a subject of great concern, and Odisha is lagging in this particular area. If you see Sustainable Development Goal 2 and 3, which relates to this thrust area, Odisha doesn't show a very favorable figure. Of course, during last couple of years, things are slightly moving forward. Having said that, I must tell you, this institute has not started this activity, which is a very new area. I came to this institute about 10 years back when they had organized a national workshop on displacement and resettlement, which is a very, very important area. And this institute also, to its credit, was responsible in taking up a report on human development report funded by UNDP for the state of Odisha. So it has a checkered past. Having said that, this area is a very difficult area which, with UNICEF support, this institute is trying. But it has a lot of promise. If you look at the present scenario, none of us know what is the present scenario in Odisha so far as health and nutrition is concerned. Whatever data we are getting from the NFHS. And let me tell you, the NFHS data and few secondary sources data are very, very, scanty. And Odisha is such a state where you find a lot of diversities. Dr. Das, said, and he is handling, tribal related issues, he knows for sure. And he made a mention, if I am correct, that there are 75 vulnerable tribal groups in the country, of which Odisha has the biggest share of 13. And there are 705 tribal communities, out of which Odisha has a sizable chunk of 62. But what to talk of the community-wise data? We don't have data even for the scheduled tribe community in the state of Odisha, for that matter in any state, if you look at health and nutrition as a component. So in such a situation, how we should go about, and what is the current status, and is there a good practice which has been done, which can be tried? I can tell you in Odisha, there are two projects or two attempts made, one by UNICEF and the other one by RMRC, the ICMR wing of Bhubaneswar, who were collaborating with Tribal Research Institute, Odisha, when I was the director for a pretty long time. You see, these 13 PVTGs, for the first time, maybe in the country, we tried to do, in collaboration with RMRC Bhubaneswar, a health disease profile survey covering all, the 13 PVTGs located in Odisha. And we came up with some interesting findings. and the findings were capitalized, which probably gave a lead to UNICEF to come up with a program called Jivan Sampark, which is nothing but hovers around health and nutrition of women and child pertaining to the PVTG group. It is already into 5th year, Saurav. We are already into 5th year. Believe it or not, you see, I am a testimony to all these things over the last 5 years. Even during COVID pandemic, the situation has not worsened among the PVTG groups because of the sustained effort by UNICEF and 3 departments, Women and Child, Health, and SC and ST Development Department. If you see, during last 4 years, 5 years, they had conducted a baseline survey, and they have been also conducting, almost like annual outcome survey. And they have come to an end line where probably in next 15 days to 1 month time, the report will come up. But the early indications show that the health and nutrition status of these PVTGs have improved. So what I would precisely try to impress upon here is that it is possible only, doing researches in bits and pieces, not looking towards its actionable part, has no meaning. Since UNICEF with these 3 departments and with RMRC, Bhubaneswar, and Tribal Research Institute could make an attempt on the PVTGs, I think it is possible to do it, at least for the tribal communities of the state. So this is something which is in practice, I am telling you. Coming to the second thing, what is ongoing and on the card? Right now, RMRC, which is ICMR, state level institution, in collaboration with Tribal Research Institute, Odisha, has taken up a study on all the communities, all 62 tribal communities, the Tribal Family Health Survey. So by end of March, you are going to get the profile of each community's separate family health, profile. I think that will give a lot of, food for thought for the policymakers to have, an action-oriented, activities which will probably improve the health and nutrition status of these 62 tribal communities. Taking this as a cue by, the Ministry of Tribal Affairs is also seriously thinking, and they have asked me to prepare, a detailed project report to take up such kind of study for all the 75 PVTGs of the country and 705 tribal communities, which they will execute through some agency or the other. It is best known to them. Third important thing is that on health and nutrition also, a number of studies have been done by various universities in the state, outside the state, by research institutions, by NGOs, and also by many research organizations. But we do not have a consolidated list as to what has been done so far. My point is, this institute, since has taken a lead and has been identified as a center of excellence in this area, should make an attempt to identify which all studies have been done in this sector, may it be tribal, may it not be tribal, and try to map out where these researches have been done, and they should first come up with a compendium before it goes to the oblivion. My second, suggestion will be this two-day workshop will be really meaningful if it comes out with a kind of framework identifying what should be done in this particular area in next 5 years' time, so that we don't, beat at the bush, just do a workshop here and there, and just do, a couple of empirical studies which will have very little bearing on the efficacy to address the health and nutrition issues of tribals, non-tribals, any vulnerable pockets, so on and so forth. So I will not speak at length. I know we are behind schedule and we will have many technical sessions, but I would urge upon the organizers and those who are taking it forward to ensure that at the end of the second day workshop, a clear roadmap with a very definite timeline is worked out. If that is done, I think this workshop, I will say, will be a success. I hope that this workshop will definitely see the light of the day and it will have policy relevance at the end of the day. Thank you.
Thank you, sir, for honoring us with your enlightening words and inspiring us. Next, we would like to invite our chief guest, Mr. Pramod Kumar Mekap, former IFS officer and the present chairperson of Orissa State Food Commission. Mr. Mekap played a very important role in implementing the ambitious program One Dhan Yojana across 307 districts of India for tribal empowerment and development. He also played a pivotal role in the formation of One Dhan Vikas Kendra, a tribal hub for collection of minor forest products. We would like to invite Sir to please address the gathering on this occasion. Sir, please.
Very good morning to you all. Our respected director of this prestigious iconic institute of Odisha. As a matter of fact, of the entire country, we feel proud of National Institute of Technology. Professor Ota, Director, ICMR, Professor Das, Professor Jalandhar, my very good friend and the man behind the entire program of inspiration, Saurav, and Dr. Sarkar. Really, I feel greatly excited. I could say it's a matter of nostalgic moments when I reached Rourkela last evening in the midnight after 1:30, after 40 years. It was a great experience in the sense that I had an opportunity to work here in 1983 as a management trainee administration. At the time it was being held with the Steel Authority of India Limited. In the sector 5 I was there for 1 year, but I didn't have any opportunity in my entire life to have a glimpse into this institute. Then I went to Rajasthan cadre, spent almost 3 decades there, and this is all. But point of my soul telling is that if you imagine and realize the development edifices of Orissa, the following pillars, are the starting symbols. Our legendary Biju Patnaik, his vision was really exemplary. You can't even imagine that such a people with flesh and blood could ever walk down to the earth. How he imagined that in my state, first let me have a port, major port. I have got immense, I don't know how to make the meaningful utilization of that. I should have a dam. We should manipulate and streamline the water resources I will use for different good purposes for the health, and the irrigation and for other electricity generation, all those things. And the third most important thing he imagined that how to have a technical temple in my own state where the modern day architects will be created. He tried for Indian Institute of Technology and succeeded in getting the first ever NIT. So iconic institute, a symbol of our growth, and now it is all history, as Dr. Sarkar was telling. It's a point that we all feel proud. So really I am very happy because yesterday the flight was cancelled. Initially it was delayed or cancelled, but we took the pain, Professor Ota and me, of taking it 12 hours. It was journeying almost and reaching in the midnight, but today we are quite fresh. And we have today, for a very important cause we have. I was just going through your agenda. It's a long, many, very, very important topics will be discussed over here. Dear friends, what happened, the food security or the food nutrition for who is an engineering institute, you have a center of excellence, really, it's quite amazing. What happens, because nowadays I am looking after since for the last 3 years, this is the, I will briefly tell you what is this food security and food commission, what role I am playing, what role you should play, all stakeholders, and how the people should be aware about all those things. Say in 2013, first government of India, they promulgated an act called National Food Security Act in 2013. And that was with the intrinsic message that hunger is never an issue of charity, it is an issue of justice. It was also a historic judgment by the Supreme Court of this message. And by that it was created that it should be a right for every citizen to have a prestigious, a balanced way of human life existence, both as the nutrition security and as the food security. These are just like the two parts of a coin. And with that intention, these food commissions were being created in almost every state, and to have an impartial body to oversee the implementation of various programs that is being implemented in the state. As you know, because you are working on the nutrition, Orissa, one major program is going on under this public nutrition systems. Around 3/4 of our rural populations, they are getting the benefits under this food program or this public nutrition program. Around 90 lakh cardholders are there getting the benefits. There is for supplementary nutrition programs a huge network, around 72,000 Anganwadi Kendras in all village and remote centers, giving supplementary health programs to our pregnant mothers, to our lactating mothers, to our children and all those things. Mid-day meal scheme is again a wonderful scheme that is being promulgated, and 55 lakh students of the class 8 up to class 8, they are getting the benefits of midday meal. And that diet is also very well balanced and very well prescribed, all those things. So these programs are being, is a mammoth program, almost Orissa. It is conducted around 12-13 departments that are associated, your health department, your food and civil supplies department, social security department, and tribal department, both directly and indirectly. They are, and also there are multi-stakeholders like the NGOs, some of the very important NGOs, to connect with the people are our UNICEF and other NGOs, corporate houses, and basically the people. But what happens actually, apart from this food distribution, all things, and it's a matter of great news that a couple of months back you might have heard that Odisha has ranked high in the national index for the best distribution of the food distribution program in the country. But at the same time, again, it is a matter of introspection. In these topics we will be discussing why in the GHI, or the Global Hunger Index, our position as the entire country has stepped down to 107. I am not going into the controversies of what are the parameters and what happens, this, that. But if you make a self-introspection, you can find that the basic parameters of this GHI indexes that hinges on the 4 activities: child obesity, child stunting, malnutrition, and child undernourishment. Because child is the main focus. Very rightly, they are the future of any country, not only future of the family, for any country. If the child is healthy and grows well and properly taken care of in the first 1,000 days or from 6 weeks to 59 weeks and all those things, then we'll have a healthy nation and better nation. We can't afford to have a people of the youngsters or the children going up with child wastage and having a rickety child and making the nation rickety. That's why the hidden hunger or the nutrition intervention is very, very important, for which we have all assembled here. And I am happy that in Technical Institute we will be discussing so much of deliberations. As Professor Ota was hinting out, this PBTG group, It's immense problem over there. Our people are not aware. Government is doing enough of the things. We are going to the field across, we have traveled almost as a commission, almost all the districts we are traveling, we are getting the reports from the district officials, having direct interactions, all those things. Plenty of the progress, but who the people who are receiving it, they are not so much, interested for these things. They don't care for the child upbringing, what is happening, who has to educate them? Government cannot do all the programs. We, the NGOs, we, the people, we should create an environment of silent revolution, that you have to take care of these nutrition interventions. That's what our UNICEF is doing. By different, very appreciated programs, that's why I've been associated with them. This Jivan Sampark or this Amlan or this CMAM program, they have started doing wonderful job in many districts. How to have a community participation or community motivation for the SAM children. You must all well aware, I'm going to that, what the SAM children, MAM children, how the child is going there because of unattended, the proper nutrition cares. So how these things will be settled? Not only the government, because the problem is not now like that people are not getting the food, they are starving. But problem is that the proper nutrition support is not being provided. So there are many solutions and many things. First is community participation and community awareness. Whatever may be the technical research and everything will go in the four walls or some sequential ideas. But unless you go to the field and mobilize them, people are not taking, the pregnant and lactating mothers are not taking the IFO tablets. There are plenty in the Anganwadi centers, but there is a big gap between the distribution and the administration of the tablet. So how to bridge up that gap? The children and the first 1,000 days, they never bother about the things. They do not know when the child goes away from MAM children and to SAM children and finally child wastage. So in the village level, who was to inspire them, who was to motivate them? And what is the support of these nutrition interventions? As one of our speakers was telling, that COVID has taught us many lessons, particularly the self-resilience and how to have a self-dependency on many aspects. Many people have started doing time in the villages also, what they have conveniently forgotten during the lifetime, have the nutri gardens or kitchen gardens. This is a very important low-cost sustainable model. I was telling in many occasions, same word, same line, this is not a rocket science, or this is not a magic wand. You have your own resources at the village, have some small piece of land, किसी परिवार बगीचा लगान्तु. Try to inculcate the spirit of care and share. And this is the best nutritional model available. So now we have also advised and make it a mandatory sort of thing. Actually, commission role is that our mandate is that to issue the advisories on some social issues to the government. And monitor the progress whether the thing is being operated in the right way or not. Then the grievance redressal mechanism or many things are there. It's an independent body. Regulatory body, statutory regulatory body. We have issued the advisories. Now the government of India, government of Orissa is very proactive. In the schools now they have started this nutri gardens or the kitchen gardens. You know the schools are the learning centers where the children will learn the care and share mechanism and grow the things. Not that it will solve all their purposes in their midday meal. But point is that it will go to the messages. Other child ambassadors or brand ambassadors, villagers will be motivated that in our home own courtyards, they can have their kitchen garden or nutri garden. You may laugh at me that it looks small, but these are the ultimate models. Like that of Amrita Sen's development economics from small models emanating to the macro scale, these things could make a difference. Number two, who will be taking care of our pregnant mothers and lactating mothers? How to implement and proliferate more and more complementary feeding? What are the mechanisms to be adopted in the field? But so much, good topics. I was just looking at that. These are all very, very important. As you know, there are 40,000 of our transgenders. They are moving around highly deprived from the society, even on their own ration cards, and nutrition is a far-off dream from them. How to identify them and give them the benefits? This is also a social need and also need of the hour for all the citizens to think of. There are a lot of corporate houses, even in the all those sectors, they have a program called corporate social responsibilities. But in some of the cases, that has almost become a window dressing, providing one ambulance, this, that, all those things. but let them associate themselves for these child nutrition programs for pregnant mothers or lactating mothers. Our proper coordinations that in our Anganwadi centers actually that is the traditional, I could say the village level hubs, because I have been associated with this after my superannuation with the Indian Forest Service for around 3 decades as a community resources manager, as a conservator, DFO, deputation to Government of India, director in the defense, many things like that. Principally, finally retired as principal chief of the forest. Then after retirement, I had an opportunity to work for TriFed as a principal advisor. At that time, a novel concept was coming up because the minor forest produce, Professor Ota will agree with me, there's immense potential as a local nutrition sustainable model. How to make the value addition and use them as the food materials at the doorstep. I have to recently urged upon the entire forest department officials at the top brasses, you go for the entire survey. Even your Center for Excellence of Rourkela could do a project on that. Immense MFPs are there are around 100 items, and some of them even MOTA, Ministry of Tribal Affairs, has provided minimum support price. In TriFed, they have been doing that in 307 districts in the country. They have created a concept called Bandhan Yojana, Prime Minister Bandhan Yojana, and Bandhan Kendras in the grassroots level. That will be a center where the minor forest produce will be collected. When the value additions will be there, both the primary and the tertiary, and the market linkage, and also for the own consumptions of the tribals. Because the vulnerable tribal groups in our state are the 13 pockets, as he has very rightly surveyed, Professor Ota was telling, these people are to be taken care of first, their child and the nutrition cares. So there are many issues and many things, of course. Lastly, I could not go because on the 2 days I was just going through the topics here. The first topic was the public health in the tribes. It's very important, very befitting. Dietary diversions, you're the public health nutrition, you're one, both as you have very rightly told, SDG 2 or SDG 3, what they're telling, the healthy and wealthy. How to maintain it that. Not because of problem is our lack of nutrition, lack of awareness for the nutrition, the entire society is suffering. So we have some very nice topics, befitting topics to the present scenario. And this is fighting extreme malnutrition among the rural poor women through community nutrition and initiatives during the COVID pandemic, what that has taught us. There are many important topics I was going through. I wish all the best that discuss these topics and bring out some solutions. And if some solutions we find, and I'll be happy that if you send some of them to our commission, and if it is found suitable, I will also recommend to the government for its implementation at various levels. But again, I do wish that this outcome of this 2 days workshop should not be only limited to a paper writing or putting up in a souvenir or some article. Let us have some applied perspectives, so that the government could use it for the nutrition interventions and better nutrition status of the state. So we could imagine and we could expect that in the next GHI index, our position of the, not only of our state, of our entire country could go a little higher. That is one point. And a health survey, because the NFHS data, actually the survey is almost a phenomenon, not annual, that comes in 4 years or 3 years like that. It's a time-consuming process. So we have also issued an advisory that let that be annual, every year in the state particularly there will be a health survey. If you have some detailed calendar how it should be done, then please give a copy to that so that I can also impress upon the government to implement in the writer. I was having a discussion with the Chief Secretary, he was also assisting how to go ahead with the modus of going for this annual health survey. That will be also very, very helpful. So thank you very much. All the distinguished professors or the academicians will be presenting the papers, and I am looking forward for the best outcome of this national conclave. Thank you and good luck.
Thank you so much, sir. And we especially thank you for taking so much pain to come here and grace us with your presence. The National Conclave on Public Health Nutrition would now release its souvenir. For this, we would invite our volunteers and request all our dignitaries to please do the honors. We would now like to extend our appreciation to the chief guests for the event with a small token of gratitude from our side. For this, we would like to request the Director in Charge, Professor Pradeep Sarkar, to kindly felicitate our chief guest, Mr. Pramod Kumar Merkap. We would like to request Professor Santanu Pariya, Dean Shrik, to kindly felicitate our chief guest, Professor Akhil Bihari Ota. We'd request Professor Santanu Pariya to kindly felicitate our chief guest, Dr. Aparup Das.
Next, we would request the convener, Dr. Jalandhar Pradhan Sir, to kindly felicitate the Honorable Director in Charge, Professor Pradeep Sarkar. We would now request the convener, Mr. Saurav Bhattacharjee Sir, to please felicitate Professor Shantanu Pariya. Now, we would request the Honorable Director in Charge, Sir, Professor Pradeep Sarkar, to kindly felicitate Mr. Saurav Bhattacharjee Sir. Finally, we request Honorable Director in Charge, Sir, to please felicitate Dr. Jalandhar Pradhan Sir. We feel extremely grateful to the dignitaries for taking time from their busy schedule and making this event a grand success.
We have now come to the end of the inaugural ceremony. We would request Dr. Preeti Das Ad hoc Assistant Professor in English, Department of Humanities and Social Sciences, NIT Rourkela, to present the vote of thanks.
Good noon, everyone. It is a great pleasure for me to be able to thank all the dignitaries on behalf of the Department of Humanities and Social Sciences on the occasion of the second National Conclave on Public Health Nutrition, Measuring Progress Towards Achieving Sustainable Development Goals, PHN 2022. We are at the end of our inaugural session, and I now take upon me to extend my gratitude to the following dignitaries. I would like to thank our Honorable Chief Guest, Shri Pramod Kumar Mekab Sir, Retired Office Officer, Chairperson, Orissa State Food Commission, for having raised this occasion. Sir, we are humbled by your presence. Our distinguished guest of honor, Professor Akhil Bihari Ota, Retired IAS Officer and former Director of SCS TRTI. Thank you, sir, for being here and agreeing to enlighten us with your talk. I would extend my thanks to our next guest of honor, Dr. Aparoop Das, Director, ICMR, National Institute of Research in Tribal Health, NIRTH. Sir, your presence here today has been of invaluable support to us. I would now take the opportunity to thank our Honorable Director in Charge, Professor Pradeep Sarkar, for being a monumental figure of support for this conclave. Our Dean, Shri Professor Santanu Pariya, who has been a great support throughout. Thank you, sir. I thank the conclave conveners, Mr. Saurav Bhattacharjee and Dr. Jalandhar Pradhan. My special thanks to Professor Sangamitra S. Acharya, Center of Social Medicine and Community Health, School of Social Sciences, JNU, for gracing the occasion. I would like to thank the project staff and members of Center of Excellence on Public Health Nutrition, UNICEF. I thank the technical staffs for their cooperation and the media persons who are here with us today. I would not be doing the justice if I do not thank the efficient team behind this national conclave, the faculties, students, and the staffs of Department of Humanities and Social Sciences of NIT Rourkela. I thank the audience, guests, and participants for their enthusiastic participation. We hope these 2 days prove to be enlightening for all of us. Thank you. Have a great day ahead.